afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 2 versus 2 on Val farmlands. Between in the west, we got Gdot and Skabinsk fighting for King and Country and United States of America. Here with the 11th Armored Division, supported by the 29th Infantry Division in an attempt to run down the Krauts. Under the command here of Schokolade and Devlish, fighting both for the Oberkommando West, Germany. Fighting here for the, let's just say first SS Panzer Division, Leichtstandarte, and we got here by an immediate choice of Vanguard there for Gdot. For Skabinsk, we got Rifle Company, Infantry Company, Tactical Support versus here, Lead Armoured, Special Operations, Scavenge, more Lead Armoured. Fortifications, more special operations. Not that special if everybody's got it now, is it? Sections moving downwards there with the Universal Care following up. So we've got Gdot pushing pretty hard for the south. Of course, we've got Steel Pioneers with the Kuban following up, making pretty much the same movement there from Devlish. Bit of movement there towards the centre by Schokolade. A lot of cheese, well, there a bit of cheese. Anyways, in this case, it seems like he's finishing up in the north, though. We got Skabinsk moving northwards there. So in this case, the Germans are a bit closer to each other, can actually support each other better than the Allies can currently. We got section over to Steel Pioneers, Kugelwagen. We got the course the Universal Carrier here with its Bren gun going on the hunt there for the Huns. And there you go, pushing back the Universal Carrier there. Now the Kugelwagen on the way by there for Schokolade. For Devlish, it's more Volksgrenadiers. And now actually beginning to push northwards here, so they're getting behind some of Skabinsk rifle, catching a bit there. Kugelwagen moving northwards there, and we got Volksgrenadiers standing them up, but not quite pushing out as aggressively as they can yet. Third section away there for Gdot, who's then going for a pretty infantry sort of heavy build here. Not entirely sure what his Universal Carrier is doing there. Guess he lost sight of the Kugelwagen and decided just to hit back there to support the sections. In the north, you got the Kugelwagen here with Steel Pile, full support here with the rifle, at the same time being a bit overwhelmed here. At the same time, the Skabinskis continue to fight out in the open, which does give Schokolade's troops a bit more advantage. We get up the second Kugelwagen, who could do a lot of damage there to Skabinsk men, who again are not really relying a lot on cover here. Meanwhile, got Kugelwagen trying to secure the centre here, while Steel Piles are falling back here, so it looks like Gdot will be able to secure the south here for the Commonwealth, though we got a bit of troops here preparing perhaps for the next line of defence, who knows. In the north, though, green pressure, there goes Skabinsk almost losing a rifle squad here. We got the double Kugelwagen pushing forwards, and we got a trail of corpses left in their wake. There we go, wipe the squad there. That's going to hurt Skabinsk in the early game. There's 280 manpower down the drain. Meanwhile, the Kugelwagen just continue. And double Kugelwagens can be quite effective versus infantry out in the open. Of course, he's very much risking losing one Kugelwagen here to the M1 carbine wielding the echelons. The other here. Dear, that's really close. Some sharp movement there with the Kugelwagens. At the same time, we've got more Kugelwagens here pressuring Skabinsk. Suffering a lot here. He's now exposed to not one, not two, but 3 Kugelwagens. Skabinsk will not be able to rest easily tonight. She'll have many nightmares about the Kugelwagens. In the south section, holding up, their points being reconnected. The Universal Carrier will soon be upgraded over the Vickers K or Flamethrowers. Of course, there's also other bands where they use sort of like a tank hunter with P8s mounted in it, or they'll throw machine guns on it. I think some actually would throw 50 caliber machine guns onto the Universal Carrier. Well, that'd be a bit too powerful to do in game, but apparently it did happen. Section here versus Volksgrenadiers. We've got third Volksgrenadier squad on the way here for Devlish for Schokolade. He's beginning to add in more troops as well. There's going to need to fix up that Kugelwagen here, which is quite dinged up. In fact, most of the Kugelwagens are. Sandbags being prepared here for fresh line of defense. Looks like they're just focusing north center. Good idea here, by the way. Some players can get too focused on trying to hold everything, leaving it easier for the other players if they just focus up a bit there to instead of do a lot of damage. It seems like here the Germans are content to give the south away to the Allies for the time being, while they hold center and north there. It's a good play there by Schokolade and Devlish for now. Good play. Section there taking some losses. Allies will have to work a bit better together here. Rifle moving ahead. In fact, we got a big fat infantry push from Skabinsk in towards the centre here. Might try and draw the Germans into some nasty, well-prepared position and then cut them down. That could be pretty mean. We got more Volksgrenadiers down the way for Devlish, for Schokolade. Oh, we also got a Kedden over, by the way, and for Schokolade. In fact, at Devlish, we got trucks down the way, so there'll be some tech up very soon here from the two players. And North Volksgrenadiers being held down by a huge rifle force, a horde of olive green. And Volksgrenadiers being pushed back. And there we go. Need to push back. We got Volksgrenadiers here Stuart Pioneers supporting, engaging in the rear echelons. Oh, not rear echelons, but the sappers here. Not really a good engagement there. It's Gdot, even this is bringing up something, needs to retreat soon because this is just basically free experience for the Germans. I mean, this is target practice. Towards there's Universal Care, we got Kuhwagen here being pushed back by the rough sport there. Trucks moving ahead there, large column of German Schwerer there, Max Schlepper's rear here halted and pushed back by the Volksgrenadiers. Kuhwagen being further pushed back, got Universal Care rolling about here, getting behind. Still no upgrade for it though here for Gdot, no Vickers K or flamethrower variant. Volksgrenadiers flanking in behind with a Panzerfaust possibly here to light it on fire. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, well, at the same time, they haven't hit the trucks there, so that might actually be able to allow the Universal Care to get away. But still, the Kuhwagens on the hunt here. They are on the prowl, like a pair of wolves with wheels and machine guns. So, not really wolves. But they could have been, if wolves worked that way. Anyways, Universal Care, they're being pushed back. Sniper up here by the way for Gdot. Bit risky with all the Kuhwagens about here, to be honest. I mean, you know, one good Kugel attack, and that sniper's going to be deader than a dead fish. Emo Kuhwagen needed careful. I mean, they are doing some damage, but they are pushing the luck a bit there as well. That one has really done a lot of damage at 10 kills. I mean, that's got to mean a medal or something. For 10 kills just in a Kugelwagen. Congratulations, you've earned a Kugelwagen medal in once, yeah. For valorous efforts in a Kugelwagen. In the south here, we've got Volkswagen sections there. In the centre section, pushing forward to the Germans, only a bit on the back foot here. We've got Mechanized Regiment, and we've got Bell Group headquarters here. Note, by the way, where he's positioning it so he can actually support both him and his teammates' headquarters. Good move there by Devlish. Again, we're having northwards again. We can see there's a clear focus. North centre again. They have clearly, you know, designated where they're sort of going to focus again. There's going to be some other efforts towards the south, but it's not where primary efforts are focused again. It gives them a lot more focus, a lot more control, and a much clearer idea of what to do, and sort of less inefficient actions, for example. So that is overall good there. And again, it also allows them to better work together and support each other, rather, you know, that one goes north, one goes south, and maybe occasionally we go for centre, for example. Now on the other hand, we can see the Allies actually beginning to spread out again. One player is focusing on the south centre-ish, the other one's north centre-ish again. There's less cooperation, and again, it does give the Germans a bit of an effort. Of course, we've got 6 pounder guns here from Gdot. We might try and, of course, call in some logistics soon, though it hasn't really done a lot of damage. Again, we can sort of see again, he's been holding too many resources back, not supporting Skabinsk, who's on the hand doing more damage. Also, he's going for the Stuart light tank there. That's definitely going to give the Germans a bit of a problem, and there you go, 6 pounder gun. Lights one Kugelwagen on fire there. Looks like that was Devlish. Schokolade tears. Kugelwagens there are quite fine. Volkswagen's moving ahead here. Got good push in the north. And we've got a Lux here on the way for Schokolade tears. Lux Aufklärungspanzer. Morton players going up to cover the center. That's going to give the Germans a bit of a headache and make it hard for them to fight around there. So, Stuart almost done there. Could have rushed it with this captain, by the way. That's always an option, but rather neglected at times. No sound makes everyone prepared by the Germans. That could have helped a bit, I think, to persist this American assault there. Going to send grenades into the ditch, but too late. So he's just lit the ditch on fire for no real apparent reason. Volkswagen need to retreat. Other Volkswagen's got covering from the other ditch, but overall not good cover. We got the captain flanking in here with a lot of firepower. We got more off and arriving. Skabinsk is just going full force in with the Stuart there, quick to follow up. In the south, though, Luke's pushing forward here to support Schokolade tears Kugelwagens. A real motorized mechanized assault here. Unit lost up north here. Volkswagen's absolutely annihilated. The ditch has just become a grave. So Luke's here doing what damage he can there. 2G up with the match upgrade here. He's Universal Care with the Vickers K, adding more firepower to it. 6 pounder gun moving down there. We got Steel Pumps with the Panzerfaust. Good work there. Realising there's the light tank and other bits about. He does get Panzerfaust. Sharp there. Sharp by Schokolade tears. Devlish going for Raketenwerfers and infantry guns. Now a lot of support for his men. Mortar there fighting away, getting a few kills up, but not too much. In the south here, Kuhwagen striking, but unsupported here. Double Volkswagen at the house, need to pop at least one squad out there, and needs to support those Kuhwagens in the south here. If he can flank the Stuart here with the Lux and the Volkswagen, he might be able to deal with it if he uses a Panzerfaust in conjunction. Almost got the... yeah, he got the Kuhwagen. But again, Realma exposed here. Need to move up their block path. He got stun rounds, but again, if you get close with the Volkswagen's Panzerfaust, he should have a chance here. He should have a chance. But Steel Pines moved down with the Panzerfaust. Got 6 pounder guns and snipers, and the Americans coming in there. close, but in this case, Schokolade was too slow in bringing up the Volksgunners with the Panzerfaust. Otherwise, he could have, you know, properly disabled it. Panzerfaust in the end ends up holding back the Universal Carrier, but still he might risk losing another Kubwagen here. North, though, is now being lost, but they're still fighting for the center. Again, we have seen a shift here. Again, now it's no longer north center, but south center again. There's a clear, though, plan going on between the two players. In fact, right here, it looks like he's right next to the mortar emplacement could fire with his Raketenwerfers, possibly knocking out very quickly there. We'll have to see here what he does. Universal Carrier, though, is left a burning wreck with Tommy scattered all over the place. And there we go, he's going for the Raketenwerfer, for the mortar emplacement with the Raketenwerfers. We got light infantry gunfire as well. We got bracing down. But again, if you can keep the Raketenwerfers firing, it might not last long. There we go. Plus, the light infantry gun is blasting away there. Almost got it. Almost got one Raketenwerfer as well. And retreats. But looks like the light infantry gun can finish off the job here in the same time. Sniper wiped out here. Too much going on for Gdot then. A good flank here from Schokolade wipes it out. Stuart, though, is back in action versus the hands out in the open and cutting down those crowds. 6-pounder gun, though, wiped out. Mortar emplacement wiped out as well. Heavy losses there for Gdot, who can't go in for the Fort Logistics line now, by the way. Panzerfaust from the Stuart, though, nothing else to really, you know, knock it out. It just, you know, prevents it from pursuing. But at the same time, we now also have a Puma here for Schokolade. Second schwerer Wehrmachtslever here for Devlish. He's going for the schwer panzered quarters. Good move there. One player's go for the lighter stuff. The other player then moves for the medium. For the Allies, we've got nothing here. Might be there's planning something similar here for the Allies, with one player then, of course, going for the lighter stuff. That is Skabinsk, and then Gdot tries to go for the armor. There you go. Puma getting here. The Stuart need to be careful, though. Stun round, trying to 6-pounder gun here. Schokolade might have overestimated himself. In the north, though, again, we got a shift here. Oh, actually, might be a bit risky for the Germans. They might actually now be extending. I'll wait. Fort Logistics Liner here, landing very forwards. Officer arriving. Might want to go for some officers soon, or commandos as soon as possible. If we can add more assault infantry in there, that would really add some pressure to the Germans. That is for sure. Luke Kuhlmann himself first step. Both Luke's and Puma need repairs. He has not upgraded this with repair pioneers, by the way. And of course, his Devlish could also consider some Obersoldaten. No commandos, no tech up there for Gdot as yet, no Bren guns either. There's certainly a lot of things here Gdot could aim for, but it's yet too. Force goes running straight past the captain, not giving any care about the poor fellow. In the south, Kuban there securing still. We got the Stuart moving again to sort of deal with it.
Our supply line just got cut off.
McKenna FMG-34 on the way for Schokolade. As for the Allies, still no tech up. And for Skabinsk, nothing further. He's gone for tactical support. By the way, we've got Browning light machine guns out. Devlish with fortification, leaving only Schokolade as one who has yet to choose a doctrine. That definitely means Skabinsk infantry is a lot more dangerous, and certainly makes cover a lot more necessary here for Devlish and Schokolade in fighting his infantry. Mine went off in the Stuart in the south here, damaging quite a bit. There looks moving forward, almost cutting down here the officer. Still no sign of the commanders, but he is finally taking up there. Still, he could have gone for some commanders. I think their Gdot would have benefited him quite a bit, giving him some extra push. This is the Hun. The Germans have been to control the map more aggressively now. Now they got more light vehicles. They seem to be operating a bit more boldly. Obersoldaten up here for Devlish. And we got the LMG-34 on the way as well there for these hardened men. Who are moving about here. Quick engagement there with the section. Stood good to go again. Sections command officer moving south centrewards ish, and in the north here. The single rifle squad there is making short work here with the Sturm Punch. We've got artillery running down there. And there you go, Rifle retreating in the face of these Obersoldaten nicely hold up here in the south. Luke's here, engaged with the Stuart, but we got Panzer 6 Sturm Pioneers on the job here as well. Misses the Stuart though. Puma also nearby, and the Lux gets knocked out here. Bit of a loss there for Schokolade. Didn't really manage to do a lot of damage with it though, sadly. And Norfolk's catching a rifle squad, but this could easily go out of the way though. I fear the rifle might be more favourite there. But we also got fuel and munitions catch up here for Skabinsk. Interesting enough, a lot more munitions than fuel. I think he'd want more fuel up to support his teammate Gdot with more armor down the road. No medium armor yet. I mean, he could go for a Cromwell right now or Centaur. Anti-tank and cleared out. Sturm has a lot of trouble here. section have gone a lot more hectic, a lot more scattered overall. Now it seems like the Allies are cooperating a bit more than the Axis do. They're pushing forward, supported by a section and the officer. Whom the red hits respond, gaining veterans 1 and a aimed shot ability there as well. Can be quite handy. In the north, the Orbs on flanking ace of Fulkers occupy the front. Good move here, by the way, by Devlish there. Good move, nicely realised flank, rather than a lot of trouble. As the Orbs on flank behind there from no return block there with their LMG 34. In the south, here, Fulkers moving in, almost catching the 6-pounder gun there, wiping it up. Of course, got the section and Sabs in the way. Also got the Stuart finally knocked out there. Small victory for the German army. Small, not too big. In the north here, more sandbags going up. He's making really good use of sandbags here to overall time and time again prepare a defense that can make it a lot harder for the riflemen to push forwards there. Good play by Devlish there. Schokolade here is going for scavenge and calling up an Austrian flak panzer for some anti-aircraft support.
Unit ready.
And we got Jaegers as well here to harass in the south. Not a bad decision, not a bad decision. Could also be used to lay down booby traps. Section moving up, Jaegers they're firing back.
A capture point is under attack.
Orbers of Darden Fulkers moving up. We got a large S-man field here down from Devlish to further help control the map. In fact, got several large S-man fields. Good use there of all of his munitions. That's been floating, and I missed to point out there. Austrian striking the south there with his 30mm flak. Ludwig, why can't you ever hit? Have you tried to hit with this thing? It's meant to hit. Yeah, I don't know why. I just shoot, aim, and for some reason I still miss. Officer, section moving straight in here amongst everything, but there you go. Austrian flanking behind the 6-pounder gun. Good work there. Good work using the terrain in this case. We got grenades assault off against the Fulks gun or section. Officer still about there, who has not enough popped any light gammon bombs. There we go, might wipe the 6-pounder gun, a lot of damage here. All the troops near the Fort Logistics glider. Nice hit from the 6-pounder gun, there you go, full retreat. Could actually wreck it. And the north point being ground, we got a Comet on the way for Gdot. So he's actually gone for hammer tactics. And he's now going to regret not having gotten a commander sooner. Officer here retreating right past the Austrian. Puma supporting, infantry moving up as well here. The Germans are very much now in control of the map here. Once more anyways. We'll see how long that lasts. We got a Panther on the way for Devlish. Almost wiping out the officer. 8 kills there. Glider wrecked as well. And there you go. We got the fuel cache spotted. Also, munition cache is down. Still, the Allies do have a lot of munitions yet. Gdot is yet to utilise. I mean, there's been no, say, Bren guns on the sections, which again could benefit him a lot. Versus the German infantry. You'll see some sappers with Piets. Monster being spotted. No German infantry about to help deal with that. You got more S-mines down there from Devlish. And there goes from ahead, engaging the sections up there. Doing some damage at the base, but at the same time, you got the Comet down in.
HQ is under attack. Typical enemy trick, isn't it?
Veterans one for the Austrian, flanking behind. Here and there, go, good hit, good hit. Need aim shot, aim shot. Oh dear, he's going to lose that Austrian, but there, flanks behind the Comet. Good work, aim shot, there we go. Aim shot right into the rear. And there we go. Turret jammed, can't move, but he's got nothing else. So the Puma right now for some time has actually several free shots there at the Comet. And thanks to Vetri 2 has a high rate of fire. He's right now. There's actually a small chance here that Gdot could lose his Comet to a Puma. All thanks to aim shot. In this case, they'll ultimately wear us off, and the Puma struggles for the frontal armor to penetrate, which saves the Comet. Had he been able to keep behind the rear armor, he might be able to get it. There we go. But in the end, the Puma does go down. Really close to here for Schokolade and pulling it off, though. Really close. I mean, that was just absolutely smashingly naughty stuff there. In the end, the Comet does get Veterans 1, but still, he probably gave Gdot there quite a scare. Meanwhile, Germans going rest of the map. We got Panzer IV here on the way. Pin-pump machine gun going up as well. Section of Pulse in the north. Re-echelons running there. Tears of freedom streaming down their cheeks. Basic healing reinforcement. Still no repair engineers there. Or pioneers. More sabs on the way there for Gdot. Still on pioneers rushing right down south. We got Jaegers being engaged by a section there. And again, still no upgrades. He's got so many issues. He could easily upgrade every section there with a Bren gun. Even the commando officer here. But He just doesn't seem to like the idea. All of a sudden, with Panzer IV support here, catching the riflemen in a very bad position there. Heavy fire there, gunning down as many as they can. All of a sudden, running for cover there inside a house. Riflemen almost wiped up. We got a huge amount of them bunching up there. Panzer IV could probably try and crush at least some of them. All of a sudden, there's something a lot of damage there from a lot of light machine gun. Panzer IV, they're firing in, artillery raining down. Good hit there. Numerous riflemen splattered across the ground. And the South British pushing through there as well. I think Skabinsk actually made a mistake in going for the Calliope. He should have himself tried to rush out some armor while his opponent was going for the slightly bigger Comet. He might have been able to contest things a bit better, maybe actually ensure the Comet wasn't so easily contained inside its space and actually kept off the battlefield for some more time. So I think that could have been done a bit better there by Skabinsk. A bit like, you know, how one went for Puma Lux while the other then went for medium armor there. That was some good play there, for example. But there you go. Calliope straight here into the German positions there in the south. Almost got both anti-tank guns there. Gammon bomb. No regular grenade, but there you go. Got it. And we've got here strafing support called in by Gdot. Comet the Hood taking heavy damage from nearby Kettenwerfers. Aircraft shot down. By Spare Punch called a second one going up there for Schokolade. And we got a Panther 4 operating behind enemy lines here, going for the Calliope, but encountering there the Comet. Mentioned one that game, need to get that Panther 4 out of there. Half health left, shot bounced there, failed to penetrate the Comet. Either way, no damage. Now we can see Schokolade is trying to go in there for a kill, but he's running straight into a wall of machine gun fire. Steel Pioneers, they're almost annihilated there in a matter of seconds. Talk about luck. Straight into an LMG block there from Skabinsk. And north there, mines being swept out finally. Germans are still very much in control here over their allied opponents. Of course, with the Comet up, with the Calliope, they cancel up against harder battle. Of course, the LMGs here, which Skabinsk wield quite aggressively, should of course also be able to do some nasty damage. Another gun bomb here. Oh, they almost ran into the house themselves. That would have been pretty awkward if he'd managed to wipe out his own units. North being taken away there from Harry Hun. Getting a bit of trouble there. In the south, they've got coming forwards again. Need to be careful, it's almost fetching E2 there, almost. Getting over their shoots.
Trying to take one of our points.
Eventually to increased accuracy and turn rate on the turret. It's time here for the mid-game analysis. In terms of damage, Schokolade is hit. Devlish hasn't really kept up there, though again, probably Schokolade is all the one dealing the most here with the other allies and the vehicles, so that makes sense. Again, the Puma, the Austrian, for example, while Devlish Panzer IV came late. I mean, all that damage, for example, to the caches, buildings and all that's really allowed Schokolade to sort of push ahead there. For Skabinsk, Gdot is a lot closer in terms of damage, but on the other hand, we do note that Skabinsk killed more best with Devlish Schokolade. They've roughly killed the same, though Devlish, because of heavy infantry, has suffered more, but not too much more than Schokolade Tears. And again, here Skabinsk has actually paid a higher price there than Gdot. Again, Gdot, I feel, has been a bit too passive there. And that's something to keep in mind. In terms of army value, it's a lot, you know, sort of scattered. I mean, again, the Allies sort of combined work better, but Schokolade has suffered heavy loss there comparatively. Devlish is looking stronger there with Panzers and Austrian, but again, Schokolade's vehicle losses, armor losses, there's the Austrian and the Puma, have rather, you know, left him a bit sagging behind there. So again, it's Devlish that's going to have to carry here, and that could give the Allies with a much, you know, stronger combined than army value, because again, I mean, clearly they'll have that. They can probably push through there, sort of, for example, overwhelm Devlish, or even just further break Schokolade and sort of then deal with the other player in turn, as long as they don't suffer ridiculous losses in doing so. Resource float-wise, much closer to each other, and Devlish here is floating, I think, a bit much. And finally, points held. Again, the Germans have overall been more in control than their allied opponents. Though there have been a few times where the Allies are looking pretty good. But again, for the Allies, more coordination is needed, and again, they need to choose to overwhelm one of the German players. They can then do that right now. They could do a lot of damage, and they could probably gain a lot of the map. And once they've done that, they need to mine it up and prepare to defend it, I think, a bit more, you know, solidly than before. And they also need to coordinate it better. They do have a nasty tendency of basically extending, I think, a bit, and perhaps a bit too much reliance on head-on assaults, rather than usually, you know, one of Valve Farmland's big advantage, which is you can flank a lot because it's really big and open, yet they aren't really going for that now, are they? So that is something then to keep in mind. In particular, Gdot with all those comets could benefit a lot from a good flank, maybe for instance grenades to firing off a white phosphorus shell. I mean, he's not really utilised any of his abilities yet on the comet. Again, the white phosphorus shell is pretty damn good on the comet. So that's something to keep in mind there. For Skabinsk, he needs to bring out some armor, some Shermans, some Jacksons. I mean, he needs to bring up as much medium armor as soon as possible. And it's also flowing a lot of manpower. So maybe some fuel caches to sort of help with that would be a pretty good idea there. As for Schokolade and Devlish, again, Devlish needs to carry it a bit more there. I mean, he needs to attack more, flank more, try to pull a bit more pressure right now than Schokolade, again, who has suffered a lot more compared to Devlish. That's really sort of where he needs to be careful, because right now, if then Devlish, doesn't quite begin pulling his weight properly, it could result in the Allies getting the upper hand and possibly in winning the game there. So that's something there to very much keep in mind. But he's maybe doing a good job there in mining. The problem is, again, S-minefields need something else to work with them, otherwise all it takes is a guy with a minesweeper and your minefield is defeated. So that's a little thing there to keep in mind. But I'll more medium armor there from Devlish. And Schokolade could, of course, also try to bring out some medium armor of his own. Maybe Panthers, while Devlish goes for more Panzer IVs. And then Schokolade can then get an Ostman maybe to support his Panther down the road. And, of course, eventually one of them could go for the King Tiger. But whoever does go for the King Tiger should, of course, ensure the other player makes sure to go for a bunch of medium armor. And, of course, Schokolade would also benefit from a few Obersoldaten. And certainly Devlish even more Obersoldaten. And, of course, in that regard, another option to consider is booby traps. Otherwise, the Germans will also try to flank their allied opponents a bit more, so they'll try and get behind and do some damage that way and knock out some of their stuff. We'll, of course, have to see how that works out as we return to the battle.
Artillery batteries are armed and ready to fire.
Got an officer charge here. Being shot at quite a bit here. Section suppressed. Commando officer moving up. Probably going to pop up a light cannon bomb, and there you go. A sort of commando grenade, if you will. Not really actually with a timer, but it was actually sort of a percussion, so that is, once it hit something, it would go off. It worked like an anti-tank charge, depending on how much sort of plastic explosion you put in, or just a regular anti-infantry grenade. In fact, also had the number 69 fragmentation grenade that also worked like that, basically, because it turns out the Mills bomb was a bit too good.
Standing by. Send orders.
That is, they couldn't throw it far enough without, risking being hit by their own fragmentation bits there from the grenade. So in that regard, they came up with the number 69. Jaeger's going in after the section. That's going to be a bit of a harsh loss there for Gdot. Of course, got the Comet tank here to the rescue. Late war tank, saw action late 1944-45. Served initially with the 11th Armoured Division. Though it wasn't really much more heavily armoured than, say, a Cromwell tank. Its turret probably had some better frontal armour, but the chassis itself was roughly as well armoured as a Cromwell tank, really. Little fun fact there. Of course, the key to it was basically the 77mm gun, which was just basically shortened 17-pounder gun, but which had access to some pretty good ammunition. Centre here, we got riflemen pushing forwards here into German lines. We also got here a forward assembly going up for Gdot.
Comet tank ready and waiting.
You need to be careful with that Comet. He needs to try and flank about. He needs to try and get behind the German lines one way or the other. We got rapidly focused on the centre again. Looks like they're sort of trying to focus a bit more south. Centre seems to be the push for the Allies instead of just trying to get every point. At the same time, they're focusing out a bit more, which is better. We got a M1 here supporting as well. Panther IV tank heads there through the side armour. Damage engine off there as well. Good. Could also try and flank it, of course, from the northern direction. Either way, he needs to try and flank. We got booby traps going down from the Jaegers. Good work there by Schokolade. Yeah, it's a Tommy, so be sure to put it down beneath a kettle of tea, so they'll never suspect it. Of course, in terms of booby traps, the Germans had a lot of booby traps, and some of them were pretty ingenious. I could talk just a full video just about booby traps. 6-pounder gun there, wiped out here by the Cromwell. Good flank there, using the grenade ability, which is actually a bit bugged here on the Cromwell or Comet. It takes a bit of a while to throw there, so it can actually end up leaving your tank in the lurch there. Of course, it's much better when base just hits eventually 3 and the crew throws grenades automatically. Damage engine here, but no immediate response here from the Germans. I don't think they got anything to quickly deal with it. Panther IV's out of the fight, and like Kedmev is far removed here. Officer moving up here, more kills to Jaegers almost wiped out. Commando officer, 21 kills, veteran defeat. Folks, they're being wiped out by the silent Sten guns. We got a Yak Panzer on the way for Schokolade here. Yak Panzer. Okay, now first, folks, because MG's being slightly moved about here. North now being infiltrated here by re-echelons with minesweepers and a mission of most vital importance for the United States of America. Calliope's not really doing that much there for Skabinsk, I think. Comet pulling back here for a bit of repairs.
Our supply line's broken.
Germans crawling away while the British are having a casual chat. And Boob Trap went off there, killing poor Alf. He really should have stayed away from the tea kettle. But one booby trap the Germans apparently pulled off was basically sort of slightly taking a mine and then rigging it with a mortar round and then putting that beneath the floorboards of a house. Basically meaning if anyone actually sort of set it off, they'll probably clear out the entire house. That's pretty mean. And there you go, Yak Panzer out here for Schokolade Tears. Allies now really making a broad push again. The Germans seem a bit disorganized actually at the moment, so it could possibly pull off, though it's a bit risky. Panzer 4 there counterattacking the north. S-mine's going off then, some poor bastard. And here we go, a lot of German units being pushed back. Schokolade Tears run off. Yak Panzer slightly sneaking about. MU-34 hanging about. Calliope ready to fire barrage there. And we got McKenna being spotted. Artillery raining down. We got here Devlish with the latest Feldhaubitz. And more Jaegers here to harass. In this case, seemingly to support the Yak Panzer actually. MD wiped out here by very close quarters. Calliope barrage. A bit hurtful there for Schokolade Tears. Panther 4 rushing southwards, almost 52 at northern point being grabbed here. Allies, not really a lot more armor. Again, both players blowing a bit of manpower. Again, they could go for fuel caches, which really would help them both. In particular, bring out more armor. I mean, Gdot could then have, or now maybe called in another Comet to support the first one, and Skabinsk, you know. Oh, he's called it a Jackson. That's good. That's good. M36 tanks straight out there. Yak Panzer hanging back there. Also, fun fact, roughly 1944, they basically replaced half of all the tank destroyer battalions with anti-tank gun battalions, or, well, towed anti-tank guns, because they were worried the commanders would use the tank destroyers like tanks, and so kind of went like, well, you know, if you can't use your tank destroyer properly, you don't get none. And then they basically replaced half of them, and sort of by the time of the Battle of the Bulge, realised that was actually a pretty bad idea, but by then it was too late.
Trying to take a point from us.
It's a little fun fact there. Sometimes military commanders don't quite think sensibly. Light gun bomb against the Volksgrenadiers. We got grenade assault off here. Yak Panzer covering here with the time loss of 75mm gun. Second coming on the way there for Gdot. Got M1 moving up there, shoots. And both miss, basically hitting the same wall. Whoa, direct hit on the anti-tank gun by Sear Action. The Volksgren moving up there, the Panther to flank, but there you go, heavy loss immediately suffered there. Kedvev setting up as well here. Yak Panzer pulling back. We got Nosmond out here for Schokolade Tears. Here, Jackson not really doing much. Comet moving up here. Yak Panzer engaging from the front. Penetrates. Good work. Half H eventually flee their second Comet. Where is it? There we go. Arriving for King and Country. A lot of troops could try and push forwards there. Sig Thunder gun on the move. Comet heading out. No officer for that one, by the way. Calliope barrage hit. Wiping out Kedvev possibly. Osprey moving forwards, Jackson hanging back nearby. And Comet straight here to the Yak Panzer 6 pounder gun. They're pushing that one away, almost knocking it out here. Calliope itself almost wrecked as well here. Comet running, covering fire here for the rocket launcher vehicle. In the north, Americans once were pushing forwards with minesweepers and other goodies. And the south, large engagement breaking out. Scavenged Jaegers almost annihilated here. And the look still remains burning there across the ditch.
We've 75 points remaining.
Panther on the way for Devlish. Briefly looked like he was going for the King Tiger, but I guess he just went for the Panther instead, realising they're actually under so much pressure they'd need the Panther first. So good response there by Devlish. Some players will just keep playing for a King Tiger, even when it doesn't make any sense.
Carried out as ordered.
In this regard, more responsive play there from Devlish. Good. Schokolade Tears, nothing further there. Loss being inflicted on the Germans. Strafe going in there from Skabinsk. 25 kills here. Still disappointed Gdot didn't try to get any more commands. Might have done better. Volkswagen trying to lay down S-man field, but they're almost wiped out. Comet almost got them on the Comet here, being fixed up slowly. Allies seems now pushing back the Germans all across the front line here, and we got the Panther up there. Panzerkampfwagen 5 for Devlish. Jagdpanzer moving up, Jägers in the centre. Grenade assault here to slow down the Allied assault. Ostman moving up, Panther 4 moving up as well here. Comets, Jackson advancing, pushing through here, the wrecked Orchard. Ostman taking hits, there we get air support called in here from Gdot. Rockets flying all over the place, but of course straight into a heavy anti-aircraft zone there with the flak emplacements. And the Ostwind aircraft there, almost blowing out the Fultz Grenadiers. Panther arriving at the scene here. Aircraft shot down. I mean, that's like 3/3 of them in the flaks. Ravner close to being wiped out. Need to be careful, need to be careful. Comet, Yak Panther moving ahead here. Careful not to push too far ahead directly. Try to flank Allied players. Try to flank. Also netting hits from the Comet, which is very close to Vetchi 3. Jackson gets another hit there with his 90mm gun. Vetchi 1 there for the Jackson.
Commanders, be advised. Ability now ready.
Almost got the Panther 4 there. And there you go. Panther 4 knocked out. Panzerkampfwagen kaputt. Comet there gets the final killing blow. Jagdpanzer versus another Comet. Needs to be careful. The Raketmevs flying away their full volleys. Comet's pulling back for now. Veterans going for the other Comet. There we go. Reverting on the first Comet here. So close to Veteran defeat. Officer popping smoke. They're retreating like Raketmevs. Panther moving forwards past the wreckage of the burning Panzer 4. Someone's just to try and flank the Germans from here. They could do a lot of damage, but it seems like they're more occupied just with the front here. Comet gets off another excellent hit. Jackson moving up slowly. Raketmevs there need to be something to wear off there. One retreating. Where's the Calliope? Not fixed at all here. Oh dear, that's just been completely forgotten here by the Allies. Direct hit on the Comet by the artillery. Need to be careful there. The Germans are slowly advancing here. Also got a bit of harassment from the south here from Jägers. Grenade assault off against the section. The Germans are very much in the back foot here against the Tommies and the armies. And we got another strafing run here from Skabinsk. Very sharp and using. In fact, that might be one of the Ministers has been up for in the end. Good hit from the Jackson and the Panther. And the south here got Kednev. Other things flanking in there. Comet needs to get out of there. Artillery raining down as well here. Kednev and misses. So close to veteran defeat. The other Comet needs to be back. Calliope as well. Good lord. They don't have enough repairing their stuff. Jackson needs to pull back here. Most of the Allied armors, in fact, now out of the game for a bit here. And we got a cannon bomb wiping out the Volksgunners' retreat. But yeah, that's one Jackson, one Comet, one Calliope new repairs, and the other one's not looking much better here either. And that's one that's close to veteran defeat. So we got the Germans here pushing forwards again here with most of the Allied armor and tank destroyers out. They should be able to push forwards. Bit of movement northwards here with a single Fultz Grenadier squad. Kednev is not really hiding very well here in the Orchard. Jägers there, and we got Rabbit pushing for the centre here, trying to grab the point. We got artillery running down here. I think it's still the light infantry gun, which is still operating here. Whew, so much going on here. In the south here, officers once more spreading death and terror. Almost veterancy, well, but almost 30 kills. He's already been veteran free for quite some time. I mean, saying almost veteran free is complete nonsense from my side. Panther Osman, Fox is coming to the centre again. Another hit here from the Jackson. Veteran 2 available, by the way. He should consider some HVAP rounds. They do increase damage besides penetration. Units being wiped out here. Now the Calliope barrage finally fixed up here. Straight at the Fultz Grenadiers. Oh, wiping out a full squad here. Devlish taking quite crashing casualties. Comet here needs to be careful. Still HVAP rounds. HVAP rounds. Skabinsk pull back the Comet here a bit. Again, they need to try and flank instead of trying to engage head on. Yet they're just barging straight in there to all the Kednev and everything else waiting. They're not trying to move through here into here, or more likely from the north where there's a lot more open path, no Schwerpanzer quarters who could then get behind some of all the gun lines. Need to pull back that Comet. Oh, too late here. Gdot really should have pulled back that Comet faster. He used emergency war speed to get the hell out of there. That was definitely some slightly slack handling there by Gdot. He could go for a crocodile now, I suppose. Oh, of course, another Comet. Although decision needs to be made soon, though. Another Jackson there for Skabinsk. First Comet moves ahead. No sign of anything there from Gdot. Jackson shoots, but it's getting close itself here. We got a Jagdpanzer Veteran 2, close to Veteran 3, and we got a lot of riflery in the centre. Bit risky there, to be honest, with all the artillery about as well. 8 kills there for the Ostwind, Veteran 2-1. 32 versus 222. We got another Ostwind here for Schokolade to respond to the huge infantry play there. Comet, Jagdpanzer, Jackson moving ahead there. We need to pull back the Comet already. Jagdpanzer lining up. Panther, Akademif, there you go. Comet down. Also artillery raining down here, I think, from Devlish again. Veteran 2 on the howitzer. Right into the whole zone of infantry. Grenades going off. Fun grenades it is. Retreating through the artillery. Riflemen getting wiped here. Panther, Ostwinds just unleashing hell against rifle. Couldn't see another squad. There we go. Wiped. Skabinsk is just seeing his men being slaughtered here. It's a kill zone in the centre. Absolutely horrendous casualties here for the Allies. They didn't even try to flank. I mean, Gdot's now lost both. Comets bringing up another one. Skabinsk has got, well, one Jackson here. The other one being fixed up. Has been so quickly. But the problem is with all the infantry now and anti-tank momentum, the Jacks will find themselves with a harder time. Akademif here knocks up. Veteran to flee, by the way. Good work there. Calliope barrels into the centre, trying to break up the German lines. Akademif are wiped.
We lost a gun crew.
Gdot's got a lot of manpower there again. Fuel caches, or maybe another 4 logistics glider to provide, you know, another officer unit there. Panther good to go, and I think Devlish this time is actually playing for the King Tiger, the Königstiger. In the meanwhile, Schokolade just seems to be all about the Ostwinds and the Jagdpanzers.
200 points.
2 different kinds of specialists working together to form a greater German unity. Fighting position being dug in here to help defend the northern victory point in the south. We got big sections, but nothing else here. We got the officer being engaged by the Ostwind. And he is quickly being dispatched there, actually. Jaeger supporting as well. 3rd Comet out here for Gdot and the 11th Armoured.
Machine gun is in place.
Jaeger's moving ahead. Veteran 2 close to Veteran 3, but there you go. Fighting position with rifle grenadiers. Quite an obstacle here. If they can actually fire them. Oh, there we go. There you go. Panther to the rescue. In the south, we got the Ostwind here, but there you go. Comet moving in. We got a Jagdpanzer nearby, though, and it is almost Veteran 3 there. And once it hits it, will have a high rate of fire plus mobility. There we go. Veteran 3. Veteran 3. Jagdpanzer goes in for the kill there. Lands another excellent hit. And there you go. Almost got the Comet. Quickly turns about. And kaput. There's the 3rd Comet knocked out here by the 1st SS. And the Germans hit. Jackson gets Veteran 3, goes after the Panther, but he's really pushing his luck. There's a Akademif everywhere. There's no infantry support. And there you go. Loses both Jacksons here. Got the Panther. They lost 2 tank destroyers, including his Veteran 3 Jackson. That's gonna hurt. Devlish there, calling GG there. Bit rude. And wait, you know, until the opponent's actually going GG before calling it. Austin finding away there. In the south, we got Jagdpanzer here. That's a single sapper unit, but can't do anything since it doesn't activate its machine gun like it did in the actual war, which was an MG42 right there by the cursor. Which is actually quite interesting, so normally they wouldn't mount, you know, MG42s on any German vehicle. They'd use sort of a special MG34 with a thicker cooling shroud. Oh dear, officer make short work with the Germans again. It's definitely paid off there for Gdot. But Gdot there in the 11th Armoured not doing too well. Skabinsk has certainly also suffered quite excruciating losses there. Whereas the Germans have got a pretty strong hand, and there we go. We got the Königstiger out here. One of the 1st SS Schwere Panzerabteilung sending in a King Tiger. Königstiger. Sappers rifling straight into artillery running down. And we got a 3rd Ostwind here for Schokolade again. Considering the heavy infantry focus, I suppose it makes sense, though. A part of me thinks they could just well done with Panther 4s. Oh well. And we got Kednev operating behind enemy lines, ambushing the Calliope. That is some extremely ballsy play there by Devlish, but I guess he just doesn't really feel threatened by the enemy at this point. Our King Tiger here with Austrian support and Germany support there from Schokolade. He moves ahead. Artillery flying all over the place. That howitzer certainly, I think, also paid off itself there. 15 kills, at least wiped a few units. 12 versus 161. We got air support called in the centre again. North, we got fighting here. Sturmpani is held up here in a nice defensive position. Gdot floating so much manpower. I guess he might be going for another comet here, but otherwise seems like he's not entirely sure what to do anymore. Calliope firing close quarter barrels here, and straight at the Jaegers. Wipes out one squad. Falls off to Nile as well here. 36 kills. I mean, he's actually done reasonably well with that Calliope. I just don't think he should have gone for it first. Austrian Jagdpanzer terrorizing the south here. Centre, King Tiger Austrian covering up here. Akademia moving ahead. In the north, you got Sturmpani versus Riflemen. And Echo pushing them away. Really close here. Austrian, they're going around the 6-pounder gun. Oh, we're moving up. We got a 6-pounder gun. They're coming the first one here. Good work. Austrian, they're taking further hits. More Austrians moving up. Just heavy fire there against the 6-pounder gun crew. There's surprisingly a few of them actually hitting. Bench to 2 here, by the way. High rate of fire. And there you go. Wipes it. Another hit there from 6-pounder gun, which hits 2. Fourth comet out there for Gdot. Jagdpanzer shoot to the anti-tank gun. Close to Veteran 4. King Tiger rolling northwards very slowly. Orbs Mark 1 2 have waited for the King Tiger to arrive before moving forwards. Instead, they're just getting gunned down there needlessly, and one floats out into the lake there, or really big puddle, whatever you like to call it. Comet rushing in there, perhaps for getting there. So quite veteran Jagdpanzer about, which is very close to Veteran 4. I mean, if you can flank it, that's great, but if you can't, he might be in a bit of trouble there. King Tiger rolling backwards here, trying to cut the sap. Reasons apparently not caring about the victory point there. Rifleman, by the way, hiding away at the farthest away corner, hoping not to get spotted. Commandant might actually flank the Jagdpanzer. 10 points left here. In the south, you got a Sturmpani squad holding here. Jagdpanzer has the Comet. Comet quite didn't get behind it. If he had more speed, he could probably easily gone behind it. Still, not a single hit there from the Jagdpanzer yet on the Comet. Austrian fires, rushing towards the centre there. Fighting going on. 7 points left. There's 151. Comet going up here, calling in air support. Right into a lot of Austrians. Does Gdot hate the RAF perhaps? Lost some family members in a bombing run? Who knows? That's a lot of anti-aircraft fire for the aircraft. I mean, 2 Schwerpanzer quarters, 3 Austrians. I mean, this can't be anything but just hatred of the RAF. I mean, seriously, can't be expecting their strike to survive that. Comet here.
Squad knocked out.
Units being lost here. 6 points left. King Tiger occupying the centre with Sturmpani close in support here as well. Comet rushing southwards here to deal with the Jaegers. In the north, Ralph squad holding up here. It's gonna look pretty grim here. Jagdpanzer, oh not Jagdpanzer, Jackson all the way for Skabinsk. Jackson. North dealing with Rifleman. King Tiger moving up as well. And there we go, GG, game over. A victory here for Germany, though close at several times. The Allies, I think, several times had an opportunity, but basically sort of either flubbed it by initially spreading out too thinly, and later on, you know, just constant head on the tanks, no real attempts at flanking the Germans. And I also think Skabinsk, they should have waited with the Calliope a bit, tried to get out some Shermans first, that way pressing the Germans a bit sooner, that way a bit more continually. So I think that's also something they can improve upon. Also, less munitions, more fuel caches, I think would also benefit them. And Gdot, I think an extra commander squad there could have done a lot with them. And also finally, some Bren guns. And yep, Bren guns, the German infantry would have struggled a lot more versus both Gdot and Skabinsk. So there. Germans overall, I think, played quite solidly. Good flanking maneuvers from time to time. Good use of their armour. Good teamwork there, which I think was also quite crucial in this fight. Good teamwork. And the Germans definitely displayed it. And I think that really gave them some of the upper edge there as the Allies. So There you go. I hope you enjoyed this match, learned something from it, gave some ideas for matches. If you did, one, subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. If not, send a new plan of some feedback in the comment section of this Imperial Ancient Tears. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode.